We respectfully request the Sangha great virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tặng thịnh, vị thứ pháp hội cấp nhất thiết chúng sanh, tịnh chuyên diệu pháp luân giao đạo ngã môn, như há liêu sanh thoát tư ly khổ đạc lạc, tốc chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Sananto Chu Che Do Ye Ola Hudi San Miao San Pu To Xie. Nam mô Tạ Đạc Tha Tô Già Đa Già A La Ha Đề Tam Miệu Tam Bồ Đà Toa. Ye unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm unable to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu sheng 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 wei miao fa bai jian wan jie nan zao yu wo jin jian wen de shou chi Yuan Jie Ru Lai Zheng Shi Yi. O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Ching Liang, Great Master YongHua, all venerable monks and nuns, and all good advisors, Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨、精良大士、师父上人、各位出家人、各位上智士，阿弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa Thanh Lương Quốc sư, Hòa thượng Tiến Hóa, quý thầy cô và quý vị tín sĩ thức A Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone, today is the 21st of February 2022. We are gathered here to continue discussing, investigating the first chapter of the Avatamsaka Sutra. Those of you who are new here, this is a chapter that describes just lists out some of the few names of the big shots who attended, the who's who of our world. That's why the title of this chapter is called what's the title again? The 世主妙言品. So it's the rulers of the world. Okay, this is very interesting because in this chapter here, they open up by saying, these are the people who are ruling our world, ruling the universe. So when Shakyamuni Buddha lectured on the Avatamsaka Sutra, these people, holding very important offices, feel obligated to attend it and to support the assembly. Okay, because this lecture, when the Buddha explained the sutra, is such a big event, important event that these people could not possibly miss it. Okay, and so because of the time limitations and our limitations as well, We couldn't possibly remember or have the patience to listen to all these. The list is who and who. So the sutra here, in a short version, the tiny version, only lists out 10 of those. And the first one is when you see these things, you need to look at the order, how they're listed. So you see that the first Mahasattva, this is the first group, first 10 ones, at the top of the pyramid are the Mahasattvas. So they're only listed as 10 Mahasattvas. And the first one is, anyone remembers? First one is, Don't look at the text. What? 3?
Master, is that universal worthy bodhisattva?
Universal worthy bodhisattva. That's how big of a shot he is. Okay, he's the foremost of the Mahasattvas. Okay, and for this particular Dharma assembly, for this list of big shots in our universe, universal worthy was ranked number 1. That's how important it is. Okay, and later on you see the names of the kings of the third dhyana heavens, the kings of the mountains, the king of the oceans, and so forth. And those are the Mahasattvas who manifest as a spirit or a god to rule over the other gods, to rule over the spirits. That's how the world functions, by the way. Isn't it fascinating? It is not the way we think. You look you look at the spirits. The spirits officially are supposed to bow to us, monks and nuns. Well, actually, the spirit kings, when they bow to us, actually, we are supposed to be bowing to them. So that's Mahayana for you. Okay, it's not. It's make believe, if you will. No, they're very humble. They are Mahasattvas in that they bow to monks and nuns, lowly monks and nuns like us. Huh? Isn't that cool? So you see, the funny thing is later you see these kings of the heavens, kings of dhyana heaven, third dhyana heavens, of the earth, okay, of the water bodies and so forth. Okay, you list them out, and one can't help but wonder, what is the role? If you see that there's a king that governs the earth, it makes sense. Now they're in charge of this part of the earth, okay, part of the mountains, these mountains. But what about these first 10 Mahasattvas? Universal worthy. What does he rule over? Why is he called Shuchu? Why is it called ruler of the world? What does he rule over? Anyone ever wondered? See, the Chinese, they accept it, say, oh, yeah, they rule the world. But I'm curious, what do they rule over? Huh? We have the president of Russia who rules over Russia, and so forth. It's very clear delineation. What about universal worthy? What does he rule over? What does the next Mahasattva, one of those 10 or one of those limitless number Mahasattva rulers, what do they rule over? Anyone knows? Yes. 9.
Maybe he rules over the other Mahasattvas?
He rules over the Mahasattvas. So are you saying the Mahasattvas need to be ruled over? There's jurisdiction over Mahasattvas? That Mahasattva must kowtow to these people, these rulers? What's the significance? Go ahead, continue. Yeah, speak. She says, number 6.
Can you repeat? Sorry.
So why would Mahasattva needs to be ruled over by universal worthy?
Because he's imbued with the power of the Buddha. The Buddha gave him the power.
Clearly, you're not a world ruler. That's why you don't know how to answer these things. Anyone else? Any insights? Why would you need a Mahasattva to rule over? Huh? Seriously, what's the real responsibility? They don't care to be rulers, right? They don't care to be emperors or kings and queens and so forth. They have better things to do. Unlike us, who has rule over Russia and invade, another country because I want to expand my territory. They don't function like that. The real rulers of the world, they have bigger issues, much more important issues to worry about. Much more important. Yes? Anyone? Why would you need a ruler? Again, I stress, it's important for you to rule over the mountain. Okay? Because whatever happens in the mountain is under the jurisdiction of someone so that it's orderly. There's no chaos. There's no anarchy. All right? People can live in harmony. Imagine a community where there's no rulers, no leader. It will be chaos. It's clear to us, right? That's how it is. Okay? But why would you need all these rulers of the mountains, of the oceans, of the earth, still need to be ruled over by a Mahasattva? Why? And they all are under, of course, each Buddha land is under one Buddha, right? So it's clear. But actually, these Mahasattva also are rulers of not just one Buddha land, but also, yes?
Well,
6.
If you're asking why the Mahasattvas need to be, why kings and queens need to be ruled by Mahasattvas, I think it's kind of obvious because they don't have the wisdom Mahasattva has and the moral compass and that a Mahasattva has to be able to rule. And so all the kings of everything can finally work together under one Mahasattva ruler.
You see, okay. Let me describe it in a little bit, give you more information, more insights, okay? In the human realm, for example, we rule by emperors, by kings and presidents. Is it clear? So far, so good, okay? What these people don't realize is that even those kings and presidents and emperors are still under who? They rule over by someone else. Who? Anyone knows? This is very, very, very practical information. Don't think that just because you're president and you're queen and that's it, you're queen of England, that you are numero uno. No, you still have to report to someone else, believe it or not. Go ahead, JMT. Two mountain. Look at how cold they are in Korea. Yeah? No comment? She's typing away.
여기서 들리지 않습니다.
Okay, let me tell you. The Queen of England, the King of Russia, okay, President of the United States are still under jurisdiction of GMT. Oh, quickly. Huh?
We cannot hear you.
since when we talk about the entire cosmos, it's too big for you. That's why I'm narrowing it down for you to give you some references. Okay? We know that we answer to the president and to the premiers and to the queens of England and so forth. Okay? Who do they answer to? Go ahead. 6.
Well, since this is the Saha world, you could say that they answer to Shakyamuni Buddha. Or if it's a democracy, you could say that the presidents answer to the people, or their cabinet.
No. When we talk, you answer to meaning these people can be punished by their superiors. Okay? There's a hierarchy. You mess up, they will punish you. Yes, 3.
Master, in the Chinese tradition, they call the king and the queen is the Tianzi, is the son of the god. So I think they might be reported to the god chakra.
Very good. Exactly. Okay. Our human realm is under jurisdiction of the god chakra, the second desire heaven god by the name of Indra or chakra. Okay. 地势 in Chinese. Okay. So he rules over us. So therefore, that's why in a Chinese tradition, on the 15th day of the lunar month or the last day of the lunar month, the Chinese would, especially Asians, they would behave themselves. They keep precepts, they eat vegetarian, and they abstain from doing bad things like gambling or smoking and so forth. Because, why? Because traditionally, that's a time when the God King Chakra would either go on a patrol down to the human realm to take a look what's happening, and then, or he sends his crown prince, okay, who is not Jesus, by the way. Okay. Jesus is not the crown prince. Okay, so the crown prince would go on patrol and he would record his notes. I said, he said, Vicky, that she on the 15th day of lunar month, she really behaved herself. Check. And that, by the way, that is recorded in the notebooks of King Yama. Eventually, when you go face him, that's when King Yama checks those records. It's very, very well organized. It's not haphazard at all. Go ahead, Jewel Mountain Temple.
Master, can you hear from us now?
Yes.
Oh, see, either the Mahasava rule over the practice of Buddhism, of people of being in the universe.
They what? Repeat
They
that, please.
rule over the practice of the Buddhism of beings in the universe.
But why do you need them? Shouldn't we leave it to the Buddhas?
So the Buddha is the top, but have to have the help of the Mahasavas.
Okay, you're getting close. You're getting hot. Okay, very good. That's good thinking. Exactly. It's very good. Commendable. Not quite there yet, but it's almost there. Anyone else? Okay, so to give you an idea of the hierarchy, the human realm is under chakra. Then the next question is, who is chakra under? See, every single world, like a Saha world, has a human realm, okay? The so-called human realm, who's under a chakra of that world, who's under who in that world? Anyone knows? Look at how happy she is. Yeah? Under? Oh, come on, you heard it already. It's not the first time. I alluded this multiple times already. Yes, because it all ties together. If I lied to you 15 years ago, I'd be caught red-handed right now. Okay? Because if I misled you 15 years ago, you say, oh, but you said exactly the opposite. Yes, number 3.
Master used to say he is ruled over by the 大方天王.
Ah, exactly. Exactly. You understand? 9? Okay? He's ruled over. Now, the King Yama is under jurisdiction. The God, Christian God, is under jurisdiction of the king of the first dhyana heaven. Okay, so you see, it's very orderly. That's why. Why is that? Because when Shakyamuni Buddha became a Buddha, and he said, "Oh, these human beings, especially the Germans, are too difficult to teach." He said, "Too much work. Look at all the babies from the Germans. Very unruly. Okay." You speak Dharma and run around making noises and cry and scream and so forth and come up to you and so forth. Too unruly. Forget it. I'm going to speak Dharma to these people. And Lord Chakra knew that. And also his boss, the king of the first dhyana heaven, knew that. Okay? And he says, oh no, I cannot this happen to my children. Because the king of the first dhyana heaven has this complex. He looks at us as his children, as if we are his children. That's why he's very concerned about our welfare. So he says, I'm going to have this. The Buddha is here. If he doesn't teach, oh my God, this is going to be a disaster for my children. So he knelt down and he called Chakra and said, hey, Chakra, kneel behind me, come. Okay, so both of them knelt down and put the palms together and asked the Buddha to speak Dharma for us. That's how the Dharma transmitted to the human realm. You see? So that is why we are under jurisdiction of the king of the first dhyana heaven. Is that clear? He feels responsible, and there is history behind it. It's a story behind it as well, which I didn't have time to go over it for you, why he felt responsible for us. There's a reason for it as well. So that's why Buddhism is so cool. It's the whole picture that's presented to you bit by bit, and they all tie together. Okay? It has to be consistent. Including the picture of the cosmos as well, the teachings. When we teach you, and the Buddha taught you this and that, and they actually are interconnected. They're tied together. Okay, so you have all these rulers, and they rule over by these Mahasattva kings, the Mahasattvas. Why? It's because, as Master Z alluded to, it's because these Mahasattvas are responsible not geographically anymore, but they're responsible for what? As he alluded to, a set of Dharma doors that are to be practiced in the cosmos. You see, the Buddha are responsible for the Buddha land. Yes, he rules over Buddha land. Anything that happens in his Buddha land, he's responsible for it. However, what about the intersection between Buddha lands? Okay, this whether it's Western Bliss Pure Land, whether it's Saha world. Okay, this the commonality, the common denominator is that these people are practicing, let's say, the 6 paramitas. They're all practicing 6 paramitas, whether it's here or whether it's in Western Bliss Pure Land. Is it clear? And therefore, Universal Worthy, who is in charge of teaching us how to practice the Bodhisattva path anywhere in the universe, he's in charge of that. Does it make sense now? So that's why he feels responsible to hang around and guide us. and guide Peter and say, hey, Peter, after Cabo San Lucas, you better cross your legs and go back to the seventh paramita. Okay, so he makes it happen. Isn't that interesting? So each Mahasattva here, each of these 10 Mahasattvas actually are overseeing the practices that cross world boundaries, but it's being practiced throughout the universe. So you see, this my point here, if you believe that, that means that there are countless Dharma doors that are being taught and are being overseen by these great bodhisattvas in order to help us become a Buddha in this cosmos. Go ahead, Lithik.
Does that mean if you're practicing a Dharma door from a bodhisattva that the Mahasattva oversees, then he'll oversee your cultivation and help you out?
Yes, sir. He will send his underlings to come and protect you and build a temple for you. Okay? And send more underlings to go and give you food so that you can eat and so that your stomach is full, okay? And so that you can concentrate, give you some bedding so that you can sleep at night and rest at night and can get started again the next day. So he's overseeing all this everywhere in the universe. Isn't it interesting? So he crosses boundaries. Does it make sense now? Because if we say he stops at the Buddha's level, then now you have all these separate entities. But actually, the commonality about all this is called Dharma doors, Buddhist Dharma doors. Yes, 3.
Master, I could think of this as this bodhisattva acts as a certifier of the Dharma.
Part of that as well. That's part of their work. That's need to certify because they need to make sure that we have faith in those dharmas. Okay, so they made these things happen. Okay, for example, okay, this morning I made a comment about Amitabha Buddha and the people from the Pure Land being here. Okay, that's because Amitabha Buddha has overseen that. Does it make sense? When he sends his people to the Saha world, now what does it mean? That he is responsible for their safety, for their cultivation as well. That is common with Shakyamuni Buddha overseeing our cultivation here as well, right? Because we're born here, therefore we're under Shakyamuni Buddha's jurisdiction. However, originally these people came from the Western Bliss Pure Land. And therefore, it's Amitabha Buddha who sent them here. And therefore, Amitabha Buddha has to be concerned about their welfare as well, their cultivation as well. You see, the intersection. Does it make sense? It's fascinating. It's a lot more involved than you think. It's not just you American or you are Russian or you are Chinese. It's a lot more commonalities. Okay? Cannot be that short-sighted and say, I'm only Korean because I eat kimchi. Okay? Cultivation spans, boundaries. Spans boundaries of physical boundaries and intellectual boundaries and spiritual boundaries. Okay? Does it make sense now? It's a big picture now that the Avatamsaka Sutra is giving us. Before, we just knew about the Saha world. So, we're so happy in the Saha world. And this morning, I revealed to you, Saha world actually has connection to Amitabha Buddha. For the simple reason that Shakyamuni Buddha, as I told you, I gave you an insight, Shakyamuni Buddha wants to get rid of some people. He doesn't want them around at all, so he has to send them over to Amitabha Buddha because Amitabha Buddha has the facilities to better take care of them than Shakyamuni Buddha. Does it make sense now? That's the trade-off. That's the relationship. I wash my hand, and you wash my hands, I wash yours. That kind of thing. Okay? So there's a lot of interdependency. Because that's part of the big picture. All right? Okay, going back to what we're supposed to learn instead of gossiping. This is first part. The first half hour is gossip. You will. It's not in the sutra, but this is the implications of the structure, if you will. Okay? The world is a lot more fascinating than you think. You don't think of yourself as just I'm Korean. I only do Korean things. I only worry about Korean things. I'm Chinese. I'm not Chinese. I'm Taiwanese. Okay? Or I'm binary. The world is so much more fascinating and interesting. Okay? Multidimensional and multi-layered. Okay, 252. They knew the faculties of sentient beings, taming and transforming them accordingly.
知众生根，如应化符。
You see, it's funny. As I was meditating after lunch, and I said, what I'm going to speak about today, and I thought, that's interesting. That how why is there a Mahasattva ruler over the Saha world? Okay, and then at top the intersection, that they are responsible for our cultivation of their Dharma doors. They need to make sure that the Dharma doors are being transmitted, okay, being supported, provided support for us, arranged for support for us, and protection for us. Okay? Does it make sense now? And it turns out to be that's what it is right now. He says, you see, taming and transforming them accordingly. That's what they are in charge of. Those Dharma doors that will tame and transform living beings through these Dharma doors. Does it make sense now? Okay? It's just like our society. We build our society by training people, right? In engineering, in medical sciences, in social services, and social welfare, and religion, and so forth. Okay? That's how society must be built, must be structured, must be engineered, if you will. Okay? So these Bodhisattvas are in charge of all that ball of wax throughout the universe. And that's how they eventually became a Buddha, because they practice all over the universe. Does it make sense now? He says that these Buddhas, these Bodhisattvas have been practicing all over the universe. Now you know why. How? By taming and transforming them accordingly throughout the universe. Through these Dharma doors, through Chan, through Pure Land, through Secret School, through 42 Hands and Eyes, through 30 Hands and Eyes for what's the name, hey, old monk? Chunti. The Chunti Dharma door. He's going to go to Vietnam and learn the 30 Chunti Hands and Eyes. The Great Compassion mantra has 42 hands and eyes. The Chunti has 30 hands and eyes. Yes? Transmitted in Vietnam. Secret School in Vietnam. Okay? And then the Shranga mantra has, bunch of hands and eyes. It's very Buddhist, sir. 38, he says 38. Yes, sir. Our Catholic friend.
I have a quick question. What would they call it, hands and eyes? Do the Buddhas actually have 30 hands and eyes, or 30 eyes, or just call it that way?
It's a Buddhist thing. You ask everything except. You guys are so curious, aren't you? Your God doesn't talk about this, huh? Okay. these hands and eyes, as far as one yin is concerned, one yin has 1,000 hands and eyes. Okay, so in the statues of one yin, there's some representation where actually behind her there are 1,000 hands, and each hand has an eye. That's how it's represented: 1,000 hands and eyes. Okay, and so the hand is to help people, okay, to pull you up from your mud, from when you're in trouble. She pulls you out of trouble, okay, and eyes is to see you. You're in trouble. Okay, so it helps to have an eye right in the hand where you can grab the right place. Get you by the hair, pull you up. Okay, so that's those the hands and eyes. Those are secret school practices of these bodhisattvas. Okay, and they are designed. They're like for us Buddhists, it's like tools that we use. Just like Mr. Putin, in order to invade Ukraine, he needs to have, what is it? The MiG, what's MiG now? What's the number of the MiGs? 31 or? Yes, sir. You don't know. I know you don't know. 5.
MiG-35 or Su-37 or Su-30?
Huh?
Su-37.
Su-37. Oh, you are a spy, Russian spy, clearly. Okay, so he needs the airplanes, he needs the tanks. What are the name of the tanks, the numbers?
The T-90, T-80, T-80 or the Merkaba tank.
Definitely Russian spy. Okay, what about the anti-tank missiles? What are those numbers? I got you.
I don't remember. I think the APG or no, not APG.
No, RPG is from Afghanistan.
No, but the Russians made it. The RPG is from the.
Yeah, but that's old technology.
Except for the RPG-80, kind of old, new.
400. Sounds familiar?
No, that's the S-400 is on the air system.
Yeah, the air defense system that shot down the Malaysia 101 or whatever flight. Remember?
Yeah.
Some Russian guy was smoking and said, "Oh, push a button," and shot down airplane. Okay. Anyway, so you see, my point here is that in order for the humans to work, we need to have weapons, okay, to keep all the humans in check. Same thing for us Buddhists. In order for us to do our work, we do more work. The kind of work you guys don't realize is that we need to keep the demons and the ghosts and the spirits in check. So we need to have weapons, tools, to beat them up. That's why. So these are the tools for us to do our work. And that's why Master YongHua is for real. When he came from China to here, he had to bring those tools and pass it on to us so that we can do our work after he's done. When he was here, he was alive, he was using those tools a lot. Okay, ways to beat up on the ghosts and so forth. Stamp to save people's lives and so forth. Okay, so those are the weapons, the tools that we need. Just like a carpenter needs a circular saw, that kind of thing. All right? You understand circular saw? Definitely Russian. Okay, so these bodhisattvas are supposed to be taming and transforming sentient beings. And that's why they need to use these particular set of Dharma doors. They specialize in using a set of Dharma doors to do that. So they're in charge of that. All right? So Universal Worthy, for example, is responsible for the 10 practices. Remember? First, you have to respect and worship the Buddhas. What's the number 2? And so forth. Okay? So those are... and then the text here also says that in order to tame and transform the sentient beings, he must know the faculties of sentient beings. And that's called wisdom. Wisdom is not talk. Wisdom is knowing what to do. Because that's what it boils down to, is what can you do for living beings to help make their lives better? Okay, so faculties here also refers to, on the commentary slide 253, refers to a root. Faculty is translation for Chinese character that means root. Okay, and the root here refers to the base, the foundation, if you will, but also as typical of the Chinese language, it also has some hidden meaning, because root here also means the ability to absorb the water or nutrients for it to grow properly. Okay, and so the same thing. He knows how much babies, for example, just like we know how much baby can be taught, how much they can eat, and so forth. Same thing with Mahasattva. These Mahasattvas, they know how far they can push us when they teach us meditation, for example, when they teach Pure Land, for example. Okay, because it's only so much we can absorb. All right? And more specifically, they need to tame, okay, meaning that what are they taming? They're taming our wild egos. Our egos are unpredictable, totally unpredictable. Okay, it's not possible to control and keep our egos in check. It's not possible. And that's the nature of the ego. And that's why all you can do, okay, either kill the ego, okay, or tame them. So the first thing that bodhisattvas do is they tame them, meaning they can hold back our strong impulses. The impulse to gamble, the impulse to do evil things, okay? They need to tame those things, because if they weren't able to tame those impulses, our wild impulses, we're going to be in big trouble. Because we can't help ourselves. All right? So they must have the ability to tame. So the taming here refers to the weaponry, for example. They need to have certain weaponries, certain tools for them to be able to tame them. One form of taming is to inflict pain upon them. You need to beat them up. You need to whip them. Then they remember. They say, oh, I don't want to go through this again. Okay? That's part of the process. So taming, and then transforming. Transform them is to encourage them to go from evil to good. To transform is to make something that wasn't there appear. So something is not there at all. You change the chemistry. You create something else new from something is there. A new from the old that's there. Okay? So the new that originated from the old. And the way in Mahayana we transform people is to transform their evil nature into a good nature. Okay? It's nothing new because the good nature is simply there already. It's being covered up by the evil nature, by the evil impulses. And therefore, to transform it basically is undo, remove this naughty nature that you have so that the good nature remains, manifests. All right? Next, 254. They had entered the treasury of Dharma realm by means of the wisdom of non-discrimination.
入法界藏，智无差别。
Commentary 255. These Mahasattvas, leaders of Mahasattvas, they have entered the treasury of the Dharma realm. Meaning that they have, what does it mean? The treasury of Dharma realm. What's so precious? What is the treasury of the universe or Dharma realm? They entered. To enter me here means have access to. Okay? You enter, you have access. You enter the vault, you have access to the vault. The vault of the bank. And that's why you can, hey, you're going to cut the motor on or what? Sorry, I got distracted. I asked him several times already. Oh, good to see you, by the way. So they enter the treasury of Dharma realm. Okay? So they know of where the treasures of the Dharma realms are. Okay? They have access to all the treasures. The treasure, the invaluable things of the Dharma realm. They're extremely rich, if you will. They're not poor at all. Trust me. Okay? Meaning that, do they need to carry a wallet? Huh? No, they need something to pick up gold right there or diamond here. So they have access. So they never carry anything. No wallet. No Apple Pay. All right? By means of wisdom and non-discrimination. And this should give you a reason why you need to practice non-discrimination. Because in order for you to access the treasury of Dharma realm, you need to start with practicing non-discrimination. It creates that much blessings for you. You have access to all the treasury everywhere you go. Not just like the Koreans, they say, I'm Korean first. So I'm going to do Korean things first, and nothing, the thing is not Korean, is not good enough for me. So they have access to only Korean treasury, if you will. We Buddhists have access, Mahayana Buddhists have access to all the treasure in Dharma realm, including Korean stuff. Okay? That's why stop discriminating. Does it help? Or could apply to the Vietnamese. But the Vietnamese everywhere. Okay, never mind. 256. They had realized the Buddha's liberation, which was profound, extensive, and great.
正佛解脱，甚深广大。
257. Commentary. They have realize the Buddha's liberation. Okay, liberation is they are free and at ease. Okay, they are unhindered, they're unobstructed by what? Okay, nothing in this universe can stop them, can obstruct them at all. So that's the Buddha's liberation. Okay, Buddhas are unstoppable, are invincible, cannot be obstructed. Okay, and not only by outside, but also by inside. In inside, they have no inhibitions at all. Okay, they're not, for example, unlike us Asians, we bound by Confucius' teachings. Remember? Huh? What did Confucius teach us? Okay, those of you who are not Buddhists, we subscribe to the Asian value system is based on Confucian value, Confucian teachings. Yes, whether it's in Malaysia, whether you're in most Asian countries, it's Confucian influence. Okay, and so Confucian is very important to us. However, they restrict us from they prohibit us from doing by these so-called morality boundaries, if you will. All right? So the Bodhisattvas are like the Buddhas. They have they're completely liberated. Go ahead, Jewel Kong.
No, Master, but you said Buddha is non-obstructed, but Buddha and Mahasapa still have to follow cause and effect, right? Is that a kind of obstruction?
Is cause and effect a kind of obstruction?
I don't know, but is there something that Buddha still has to follow? So the
I'm not going to help you. You're going to give me a hard time. I'm not going to help you. You better finish your own sentences. You're telling me that the Buddha still has some obstructions. Give me an example.
No, I'm just curious.
My disciple,
If I become a Buddha, then after I become a Buddha, then I decide not to follow cause and effect. Is that possible?
What a stupid question.
Then still there are an impossible thing that even Buddha cannot do, right?
Buddha have to follow the rules? What's the point of being a Buddha if you don't have to follow the rules? What is the matter with you? Honestly, honey, I don't know. I'm not a Buddha, so I don't know. Can you wait? Give me some time to figure it out? Okay? Because who am I to tell you, oh, Buddhas don't have any problems? I'm no Buddha. Then if I say Buddha has no problems, what am I doing? One, either admitting I'm a Buddha, or number two, pretending to be a Buddha. Either case is no good for me. Okay? And you my disciple? Wait a minute. It's called entrapment of your shifu. No lunch for you tomorrow. Yes, O monk, to my rescue. See, my devoted disciples.
A Di Đà Phật, hôm qua thầy có giảng cái Phật mà Tỳ Lô Giá Na đó, Vaikodana đó là tượng trưng cho 10 phương chư Phật đã nhập được vào cái pháp giới đó. Thì pháp giới đó nó hiện ra tất cả những cái gì trên thế gian chúng ta thấy, tốt hoặc là xấu hiện ra hết. Còn con nghĩ mà trong cái kinh mà bên dạy thế gian mình, Đức Phật thể hiện là có nhân quả, có này có nọ để dạy cho những tầng lớp thấp. Nhưng mà lên Quan Nghiêm hôm qua thầy giảng là tới cái Vaikodana là đâu còn cái gì nào mà nhân quả nữa đâu. Cái không đó là Ngài nhập hết hoàn toàn vào đó. Muốn cái gì ra cái đó thôi.
See, it's my disciple, my true disciple, not the troublemakers. Translate.
Master, yesterday you were talking about Vairocana,
Pháp giới tạng thân đó.
so like he is the Dharma body of the Buddha, that he can enter the Dharma realm, and then everything, wherever it's good or bad, it's already appearing there. So when the Buddha talk about cause and effect, it's just to teach the low level. But once you can enter the Vairocana realm, then there's no cause and effect anymore.
She's speaking Dharma too, you notice that. In her own language. Is it clear, huh? Xian, X, Xian Kong? X is for, X is X, right? XK? Okay. XK? Okay. So basically, I was joking, of course. Buddhists have no restriction whatsoever. None whatsoever. All right? Does it help? When you become Buddha, you see, and that's my get out of jail card. All right. And so they are realize the Buddha's liberation. And this liberation was profound. Okay, profound means that this kind of liberation you cannot have you cannot know how deep it is, how it's very extensive. And it's great. All right. So, all right. Next, 258. They could, through expedient means, enter a single ground.
能随方便入于一地。
Okay. So this further describes the state of these Mahasattvas. It's fascinating to see who they are, what they do, what is the world like. Okay, so they are extremely busy, you see, and they say they could, through expedient means, enter a single ground. Okay, expedient means that it's not what it seems like. Okay, it's not what you think. I like to tell you that, because this is the kind of realms of the Mahasattvas and the Buddhas where when you go into expedience, that they make believe is what we observe is not really what's going on at all, and that's what happens in the nature of their work. When they work, they do certain things that it seems that don't make sense to us at all. Okay, and that's why even when these Mahasattvas and Buddhas work, you see them in action, they don't even make sense to the all the bodhisattvas and Mahasattvas, because they're doing expedience, and even the Mahasattvas don't get it at all. Okay, so that's why. It's not what it seems like at their levels. It's not. It's beyond our comprehension. Okay, so no point in judging or gauging them. I say, they're subject to cause and effect. They must have some rules they must follow. No such a thing. They're way beyond our thinking, our understanding. Okay, because they use expedient means, and their expedient means here are out of this world. We have no clue that they're doing expedience even. All right? That's why it's called expedience. We don't know. We don't know at all. We don't get it at all, period. Okay? It's incomprehensible to us. Totally absurd in some cases. Okay? It's not the same as we are. We start our practice by learning, for example, like you will not steal, you will not kill, and so forth. These people, they have experience, they might steal, they might kill. Okay? I'm not encouraging you to do that. I'm simply telling you that at their levels, what they do is not something that we can understand, we can judge or try to comprehend. It's not possible. All right? And what they do using expedient means to enter a single ground. Okay? I don't know why we have to add a single to a ground is good enough. Okay? 入语 ED. Yeah, so you enter a ground, one ground. You don't have to add a single. Okay? So he refers to the fact that it's not a first ground at all. Okay? It can enter any ground. Okay? By using ed here, ed here is E is one. That's why it's translated as A. D is ground. There's no need for single. Okay? To enter a ground, meaning it enters first ground, second ground, third ground, and so forth. They can use any kind of means to enter that ground. What does it mean to enter the ground? Meaning that they operate. Enter a ground here, think of it in terms of accessing a skyscraper. And you get to the 7th floor. You enter the 7th floor. It's how it is. And now you get to enter 7th floor, you have access to the revolving restaurant. Okay? And you have, what else you have on the 7th floor? I don't know. A gym? It doesn't make sense, 7th floor. Usually first floor. Okay? Swimming pool? Okay, whatever. Okay, so when you enter a single ground is to go there and operate there, if you will. So they can go anywhere as they please in order to do their work. Okay? As a person at that level, even though they're much higher, they can go and come across as a Christian God. Does it make sense? Is it clear now? Or could be anything that at that level, or at the ground level, ground 1 to ground 10. Okay, and that's why these Mahasattvas can manifest as lower level bodhisattva. But actually, deep down, they're actually Mahasattvas. So far, so good? 260. Yet, supported by the ocean of all vows, they were constantly endowed with wisdom and would continue to be to the end of time.
而以一切愿海所持，恒宇智具，尽未来际。
261. Yet, even though they entered that ground, okay, they look like a person, a resident of that ground, of that level, and yet they're still connected. They still are supported by the ocean of vows. Okay, meaning that meaning that they may be there. You look at them, they look like, you can see them like that, but actually they have connections to the whole universe. Okay? It's our observation, see them as that vow, at that ground there, but actually they have everything that we can't see. They were constantly the ocean of vows. They're supported by ocean of vows that they are there at that ground level because of the past condition from their limitless number of vows they made. Okay, and they constantly are endowed with wisdom, meaning that don't think they're only first ground bodhisattva. Actually, they operate to us as first ground, for example, but actually what we don't realize is is the whole engine behind it, the entire Buddha's wisdom. It's only us who can see them as first ground bodhisattva because we are attached to what we can see, what we can understand. All right. So this is kind of interesting to me because one wonders if someone like a universal worthy bodhisattva comes to us and manifests as him. Does that mean that now universal worthy is confused? Not at all. You see. He's only confused, pretend to be confused, but actually he's endowed with all the vows and all the wisdom of a bodhisattva. We put him down so often, every now and then we need to pump him up a little bit. Okay? And to the end of time, meaning that once you get there, you never lose it. Never, ever. That's called non-regression. They never regress. 262. They had completely fathomed the rare, vast, esoteric state of the Buddhas. They well knew the equality of all Buddha dharmas.
了达诸佛悉有广大秘密之境，善知一切佛平等法。
263. This is so exhaustive of the state of these mahasattvas. They had, commentary on 263, they had completely fathomed the rare, vast, and esoteric state of the Buddhas. Okay? Referring to these mahasattvas understand the state of Buddhas. Meaning what? They are Buddhas themselves. That's the only way. Okay? Proof is that he has no clue what Buddhas are like. That's why he asks questions, why hands and eyes? Okay? So they have to ask questions. But these bodhisattvas, okay, they call themselves mahasattvas, actually they're Buddhas pretending, manifesting as mahasattvas. That's why these are statements of facts. This Avatamsaka Sutra does not mislead us at all. It says that they completely, meaning is nothing, they thoroughly, nothing they cannot fathom. The rare, okay, vast, esoteric. 稀有, rare, is that only Buddhas have it. All right? Vast, 广大, Vast, Guangda it's so big, so vast. Okay, difficult for you to fathom, for us to fathom. Okay, esoteric. Okay, esoteric is reserved for the select few who would be able to understand. And that's the state of Buddhas. They're rare, they're vast, they're esoteric. Yes, go ahead too.
From Diego, Master, I heard once that governors like Trump make a lot of nonsense things because they are higher beings that come to help shake things up so people can wake up. Could it be?
It could be. It could be he's simply confused like hell as well. Your choice. I choose the latter. Okay, but I'm opinionated. Yes, too.
Also from Diego, can a bodhisattva be walking along us without them even know they are bodhisattvas?
Impossible. Bodhisattvas do everything on purpose. They're not confused like us at all. Bodhisattvas are extremely busy. They don't waste time. And they don't exist. They are beyond confusion. The reason we don't know, when you use the word we don't know, that's confusion. They well knew the equality of all Buddha Dharmas. Okay, all Buddha Dharmas, everything we teach you is equally important. Okay, no more discrimination. Why is it equally important? Why? You keep on hearing that. Yeah, it's no high, no low. All Dharma doors are equal, level and equal, 平等. Why? Six.
Well, I think they all strengthen each other. And when you get to the level of Buddha, you know them all. So you should probably try to learn them all equally.
Well, the Buddha knows them already. So why do you have to learn? They don't need to learn.
Before you become a Buddha.
They know the quality of all Buddha Dharmas. Okay? But why? Why are they equal? Yes, 9.
Thank you, Master. I can't say that I know this from experience, so I'm guessing here. They're all equal because the enlightenment you achieve when you pass through any one of them is the same.
Okay, no more discrimination. Yes, okay, 1.
I wonder, Master, if it's that because one is not better than the other. They're all equally good.
Okay. This is of course, they know it's all equal. Okay. But why do they keep on insisting, telling us that it's all equal? You remember, it's like you don't go to the Buddha and say, Buddha, you know all Buddha Dharmas are equal, right? Do you go to start your conversation with Buddha like that? Oh, Buddha, okay, we know that Buddha Dharma are all equal, right? And he was like, what are you talking about, boy? So what is this? Why do you keep on saying that? They all knew the equality of all Buddha Dharmas. It's not for the Buddha, it's for us. Is it clear now? It's not for them at all. They know equal already, so you don't have to remind me. Tell me something I don't know, they would tell you. Catholic. All right? So they knew the equality of all Dharma, meaning that we should not discriminate. They're all equally important. Why do you think Buddha taught Agama, they taught, Prajna, they taught Vaipulya, they taught Avatamsaka, because they're all equal. Because they're all important. Why? Clearly, Agama is lower than Avatamsaka, right? Why are they equal? How can you say it's equal? Number one, stop discriminating. Like someone asked me yesterday, said, should I learn Prajna? Should I learn Avatamsaka? Should I listen to you? Should I listen to so forth? Okay, and I said, listen to them all. If you have an interest in something, go pursue it. It's perfectly okay. Okay? They're all equal. I didn't say they're all equal. Yes, 9.
Thank you, Master. I find this to be very, very compelling. My understanding is that when we die, we go before King Yama, and based on the review of everything we've done, he'll present us with options. Like, do you want to go behind? Do you want to go to door number 1? Do you want to go to door number 2? Do you want to go to door number 3? And that we will have a choice to make, which I'm very focused personally on making sure I choose the Pure Land Dharma door at that moment, if it's presented to me. But I haven't passed through the door yet, so I need to have some kind of discrimination to say, I don't want to go to the Jade Emperor door, thank you very much. I'd prefer to go to the Pure Land Dharma door.
Mm-hmm.
So until I pass through that door, I'm going to have to be as honest as I can and say, I think, Chan Pure Land Dharma door is better than any others that I've encountered yet. But after I've passed through it, maybe I'll say they're all equal.
You agree, Master Shinche? How do you answer him? He says, hey, I don't think it's equal. He's saying politely, I don't think it's equal to me. You can talk all you want. I know they're not equal to me. I prefer Pure Land. He disagreed. How are you going to address that?
Well, I think he's
confused. I think you're confused. We all agree on that.
But I understand what he's saying, that when, from his perspective, they're not equal, but when he gets to the Buddha's perspective, then he'll see they're equal.
Precisely. The reason that you don't see them as equal, because you have no wisdom yet. So it's a temporary state. Eventually, when you put your hands down, when eventually, when you get to the Bodhisattva level or Buddha level, you know that they're all equal. Okay? So it's something to look forward to. Not necessarily you must, but it's just something you will see. So it's like, you see, I told you so. Yes, sir.
So just expanding on the gentleman's question, but that means like if someone goes to the hells, is it the same as going to the Pure Land? According to if with the eyes of the Buddha, if it's still equal?
Yes, absolutely. To him, Pure Land or hell is the same. Only losers would choose Pure Land. Because they're not enlightened yet. That's what I mean. Conk, go ahead.
아미타불. 먼저 이런 큰 법인 대방강불 화엄경을 강서를 들을 수 있게 해주셔서 감사합니다, 마스터. 질문이 있습니다. 그 삼매에 대해서 보통 이제 부처님이 말씀하신 경전을 보면 화엄경은 이제 그 보통 칭하기를 화엄삼매, 해인삼매라고 칭하고 능엄경에서 이제 능엄삼매, 그다음에 법화경에서 법화산매, 그러니까 산매에 관한 굉장히 그 많은 종류의 그 법들이 이제 나오고 소개가 됩니다. 궁금한 것이 이런 산매의 경지들이 그 한 어떤 그러니까 하나의 어떤 경지에서 하나의 법에서 이렇게 다양하게 이제 이게 버티컬하게 이제 그 펼쳐지는 건지, 아니면 혹은 어떤 경지에서는 저희가 이제 그 어떤 그 이제 산매 그 레벨이 있듯이 이런 어떤 그 소개되는 경제에서 소개되는 그 산매의 어떤 종류들도 이런 어떤 그 하이러키 레벨이 있는 것인지, 그리고 각각의 그 특징들이 이제 있는 것인지 여쭙고 싶습니다.
Master, thank you for giving us this opportunity to listen to your Dharma relate to Flower Dharma Sutra. I have a question about samadhi. There are many different ways to explain in sutras about samadhi. For example, Flower Dharma Sutra has its own meaning of samadhi, and Shranga Mantra has also something called Shranga Mantra samadhi. Also, there's a Dharma Flower Sutra, has its own Dharma Flower Sutra samadhi. So my question is that each sutra's samadhi, is this samadhi talking about different levels? Are they all same, or they have a different characteristic or different specifications? I have questions for that.
Okay. All right. Anyone would like to help him out? Anyone? There are a lot of samadhis. There are countless samadhis, and the bodhisattvas and Buddhas enter these various types of samadhis to do whatever type of work that they need to do. Okay? So, for example, the Shrangama Samadhi is the kind of samadhi that's designed to subdue demons. Okay? So that's one of the primary major reasons for the Shrangama mantra is to help us conquer demons. And so you enter the Shrangama Samadhi, it will really subdue and conquer demons. So that's the purpose of entering that Samadhi. Okay? So, for example, when we open a new way place, okay, we'd like to recite the Shrangama mantra. Okay? Because when you recite the Shrangama mantra, we have a lot of people who, Dharma protectors who vowed to protect those people who practice that particular Shrangama mantra, Dharma door. So when we recite it, they will come around to support us, to protect us, so that we can practice it. So that's how we invite them to come to our way places to protect us and cultivate with us. Okay? And when we enter and we practice, we enter that Shrangama Samadhi, then we're able to dispel a lot of demonic forces and a lot of bad energies from the way place. So far, so good. So that's what bodhisattvas do. They have these various types of samadhis in order to do their jobs better. All right? So that's all. That's all. Don't worry so much about the particular types of samadhis. Okay? It's basically the different types of samadhis where when you get to the level of universal worthy, then they know precisely which one they're going to enter at will, if you will. At our lower levels, we shouldn't be too concerned about it. Just be aware that there are different types of samadhis, that do not be stuck on any type of samadhi, okay? Because all samadhis are equal, if you will. They're equal because they have their use. If you have wisdom, you do not reject one or prefer one over the other. They're all the same to you. When you have wisdom, you say, they're all the same to me. Okay? But today, for my particular purpose, I will use this samadhi. I will use this Dharma door in order to do my work because it's the most appropriate at right now. So it's no rejection, it's no discrimination, because it's not about you. It's about what's appropriate, what is suitable for the work involved. That's all. And that's why you should start by learning Buddha Dharma by non-discrimination, by non-discrimination. Don't say that I only practice Chan, okay, or I only practice Pure Land. Because it's not necessary at all. Okay, in particular, when you're learning a Buddha Dharma, I advise you to learn whatever your good know advisor specializes in. Okay, so that you can learn, you can excel at that particular Dharma door. And learn how to use it, and then move on to the next one, and next one, and next one, and so forth. There's no need to discriminate and say, I insist on Chan, I'm not going to learn anything else. Okay? My advice is to learn whatever the good know advisor is good at. Okay? Or he feels he wants to teach you. If you should learn. Okay, leave it to him. Don't worry about it. Don't be so adamant about things. The consequence is that when you listen to a teacher, a monk who says, I only do mantras, I only do Chan, I only do Pure Land, that shows that this person here hasn't reached the level of equality of all Buddha Dharmas. So beware. It means that you can go so far, this person eventually you have to move on. That's all. That's what it means. You don't need to reject them and say, oh, you're not good enough for me. No. Learn from that person. Like Shakyamuni Buddha, he went to a teacher and said, I've learned everything I can from you. And once I feel I'm not learning from you anymore, I move on to the next one, to the next one, to the next one. That's a form of practice of equality of all Buddha Dharmas. Does it make sense? Don't discriminate. Okay? And so, from your perspective, when you're looking for a teacher, beware of the people who say, I only do Pure Land. I only explain sutras. I only bow. Okay? So this person's realm is very narrow, and the wisdom is not quite there yet. Okay? That's from a teacher perspective. And from a student perspective, don't keep on insisting, I only do Pure Land. Okay? Yes, it's perfectly okay to say, I want to be reborn in Pure Land, so I'm looking for ways to be there. Okay, but until you find something better, until you get it, you should learn while you still can. All right. 264. They had already walked upon the thus come one's ground of universal light. They had entered the door to the ocean of measureless samadhis. Speaking of samadhis.
已见如来普光明地，入于无量三昧海门。
265. Commentary. They walk upon the thus come one's ground of universal light. They are They are on the wisdom ground of the Duskam ones. Okay, their wisdom is as pervasive, as far-reaching, as brilliant as the Buddha's, and that shines universally everywhere. Okay, this universal light here, it reaches everywhere because you've been everywhere while practicing this particular type of wisdom. All right? And they had entered the door to the ocean of measureless samadhis. It's funny that YongHua asked about samadhis. That's exactly what it is. We have their measureless amounts of samadhis. Okay? Each samadhi has its own purpose, its own applications. All right? And for us, at our levels, we should be not horribly worried about knowing all types of samadhis. The one samadhi I need you to concentrate on are two types of samadhis. The samadhi, the Buddha recitation samadhi, so that you can go to the Pure Land after you're done here. Okay? It's important to try to reach that Buddha recitation samadhi for your own sake. All right? That's why when we practice, we need to be clear, have clear purposes, clear goals. So when you practice Pure Land, to me, okay, one of the forms of practice you should measure yourself against is that, can I enter this Buddha recitation samadhi? Okay? Reasonable objective. Okay? And also, the other type of samadhis I would be worried about is the samadhis of liberation, the samadhis of enlightenment. Okay? Those are the major ones. And then you get into that realms, the realms of the bodhisattvas, then you're talking about oceans of samadhis. So one step at a time. (266) In all places, they manifested appropriate bodies, complying with the ways of the world. They engaged in similar practices with all.
于一切处，皆随现身，是法所行，悉同其事。
Okay, this is a very, very Mahasattva kind of detail. It's not our world at all. Okay? While we're struggling with our temples and our jobs and our families and our food and our disciples, they manifest 有一切处皆随现身. Okay? Everywhere, they would manifest the bodies accordingly. And it's not done yet. They're not done yet. What for? In order to practice same practices in the worlds. Let me explain to you. This is a state of Mahasattva. Okay, it's not for us at all. But this is fascinating to see how far away they are from us. Here's what they mean. Here's what this section means. This is what they do. Everywhere in this universe, not just in Saha world, mind you. Okay? You need to go everywhere in the universe. 一切处, meaning everywhere. Nowhere is exempt. They can go to India, they can go to Western Blissfield Land, they can go to, we don't even know. We don't even have a names for them. Okay? Them people, they only see the God's world and our world. These Mahasattvas, they are everywhere in this universe. Places that we don't even know exist. Okay? So that everywhere, they would manifest a body. They will come across, could be any form of body. A body, meaning that they can appear as an animal, they can appear as a god, they can appear as a Buddha. Okay. They can appear as a Buddha if they wish. Okay? What for? To conform with the worldly ways of doing things, the same things as worldly people. Meaning what? Okay, for example, let's say that you go to Afghanistan. Okay? You want to work in Afghanistan. So what do Afghanis do? They have certain ways of behavior. So Afghanistan, you name it, Afghanistan, India, Western Bliss Pure Land, Eastern Bliss Pure Land, Vaidurya Pure Land, whatever, okay? You go to a place like that, and there's certain worldly ways of doing things. So you go to Afghanistan, what do? That famous book from that con man there, it says, they offer you 3 cups of tea. If they honor you, they give you 3 cups of tea. All right? When you go to China, they kill chicken. You see, it's worldly ways, if you will. You go to Korea, they sit down on the floor with you on a low table and offer you tea. And then sweets. No kimchi until lunchtime. All right? So it's called worldly customs. This here, 世法所行, is that what people of the world do, they would do. Is it clear? They blend in. They don't say, hey, I'm American. Can you give me some hamburgers? Warren Buffett, wherever he goes to Hong Kong, he goes to Taiwan, he goes to France, where they have French food. You know what he asks? He asks for hamburger and fries for lunch. And a can of Pepsi? No, not Coke. Pepsi. Dr. Pepper. Yuck. Okay. You understand? So the guy doesn't conform. Oh, he's American everywhere. The Mahasattva, he goes to this world, he says, you drink tea, I drink tea. You drink vodka, I drink vodka. And so forth. Okay? You drive a red car, so will I. Okay? So it's called worldly ways. Because you do what is customary for people to do. That's how you connect. You don't say, I'm American. Can you give me some American stuff? Okay? That's not worldly. That's not worldly customs at all. You blend in. You do what Romans do when you're in Rome. Meaning you eat spaghetti. I think. Haven't been in Rome yet. Or do you kill bulls? You kill another gladiator? I don't know. Okay? But the point is that it's very interesting. It is so Mahasattva as a 世法所行, meaning that the worldly ways, the customary worldly ways, they do it. So you can tell that Warren Buffett is no Mahasattva. Okay, he insists on being American all the time. 系统即是. So wherever he goes, wherever they go, this is kind of difficult to translate, but wherever they go, they do what the locals do. Okay? What for? In order to practice the similar work. And this is what bodhisattvas do. What is to practice similar work? Meaning that in order to save you, they do the same thing as you do. Meaning that if they want to save a doctor, they go to the world where the doctor lives. It could be Afghanistan, it could be Yugoslavia. Is it Yugoslavia anymore? They broke it up, right? Now it's Bosnia and Croatia. Hungary and so forth. And they do what Hungarians do. Okay? And then 同事. Okay? So you observe the customs, boys and girls. This is why I insist upon you that once you understand, you need to appreciate and learn the ways of the world, the customs of the world. We blend in. We don't demand things to be our way. Is that clear? So that's why I allowed you to watch Netflix. Don't say, I don't know, I don't know anything. Netflix has everything. It has Vietnam food. It has Korean street food. Tacos. Hey, tacos. So I insist, because this is so important for the work we do, is to conform with the way of the world. We are not able to do what they do yet, the bodhisattvas do yet, but I need you to start planting the seeds. In your flexibility of mind, we need to do the worldly ways, okay? Blend in, okay? To do what? That's the first thing has to happen. Before you can save people. How do you save people? By doing the things they do. Meaning that you go to Germany, okay? What do Germans do? They drink beer. So you go there, first thing you do, give me a mug. And you chuck the mug. That's worldly ways. Is that clear? Listen, bodhisattvas do that because they're bodhisattvas, not you. You're not supposed to drink. Let's be clear about this. I'm not advocating you should be drinking. 请戒. Okay? So, but that's bodhisattvas do. This is why they call expedients. They do these things because that's what they're supposed to do. Okay? So they observe the conform to the worldly customs, drinking beer, drinking wine, and vodka, and tequila, and so forth. Okay, in order to see 懂即是, meaning that 懂是 here. The key word is 懂是. 懂是 is the bodhisattva practice, one of the highest form of bodhisattva practice, meaning that you do the same thing as the person you're trying to save does. Meaning that if you try to save a doctor, you go and become a doctor yourself. You manifest as a doctor, whatever, and you drink alcohol, you use drugs or whatever, and then you go and operate a person. Okay? And that's how you save those people, by engaging in similar work, in similar practices. So you become a doctor, you become an engineer, see? That's why you know everything. It's not easy, trust me. It takes a long time to become a doctor, and yet, they become a doctor so like that, meaning they've learned a long time ago. Fascinating. And so this is what the non-Buddhists don't realize. The Buddhists, we Buddhists, We go and do the same thing. We pretend to be Catholic, for example, to save Catholics. I will never forgive those Christians when I went to those supermarket and those cashiers tried to convert me in my glorious attire. They said, God will save you. I said, say what? I was checking out, minding my own business. I was happy in samadhi, and she says, God will save you. You know that? I lost my samadhi completely, blew my top. How dare you? Can't you see who I am? Have you no respect for my profession? You see? So, I know, it's hard. It happened to me multiple times for some reason. I need to be taller or something. If I'm bigger, then people would not be as inclined to tell me, hey, God will save me. I'm too heavy for God. Anyway, so this is a typical of the bodhisattvas. They go and appear as a doctor, as a king, as a queen, as an animal in order to transform those beings. Think about it. It's kind of fascinating. The jack of all trades, nothing they don't know. Nothing, they can't do. They talk engineering to death with Jim Georgiev. Okay? They talk about structures with Jung. And to the point Jung says, oh, you know a lot more than I do. Oh, you're so good. I asked Jung, for example, I said, Jung, I would like to remove all these columns in the Buddha Hall. I don't think he remembers this. When I first bought this thing here, he came up here and said, oh, wow, Master, you have a big weight place. I said, yeah, of course. A big weight place. What are you talking about? And I said, I don't like these columns. I said, I'd like to replace them. And Jung said, no problem, $2 million. I paid less than $2 million for the church, and I'm gonna have to spend over $2 million just to remove 8 columns. That's his engineering, mind you. I submit to you that were universal worthy bodhisattva. He says, no problem, done, 0 to you. Yes, sir.
I actually like the columns. This reminds me of a church.
That's precisely why I don't want them. Thank you. Okay? Right. 268. They were able to command and uphold limitless dharmas on a vast scale, amassing an ocean of dharmas.
总持广大，集众法海。
Okay, again, the translation a little bit off, but it's okay. It doesn't matter. 总持广大, 总持 here is not command, uphold limitless dharma, vast scale. 广大 is vast scale. 总持 here is dharanis, mantras. They know so many mantras. Shrangama mantra, Great Compassion mantra, Chunti mantra, 10 small mantras, Medicine Master mantra. They know all the mantras in the world. That's what it means. We can't even remember the 42 hands and eyes, right? We still haven't memorized them yet. After Master transmitted to you, Master almost lost his arm trying to gain the right to transmit it to you, and you haven't memorized them yet. It's hard to be a master. Anyway, so 种植广大, I mean, they know so many mantras, okay? And Dharani and Vascales, amassing 集中法海. So, and they amass all these, not just mantras, but they learn all sorts of dharmas, okay? And they collect all these dharmas, like they collect precious works of arts. Okay, so it's like 集中法海. It's like they keep on accruing and accruing and accruing. So they insatiable in their quest of learning, the quest of knowledge, of Dharma doors. Okay, 法hears Dharma doors because they said, I want to learn more, more and more. They keep on accruing more and more and more. Okay? And you see how it means here and how they translate it into English a little bit off. But it's okay. It doesn't matter. Okay? This is the state of Mahasattvas. If we were to translate this accurately to you, it really makes no difference. So it's okay. It's acceptable. Okay? 270, they turn the irreversible wheel with eloquence and skill in means.
辩才善巧，转不退轮。
So they do all this work here. Also very important part of they do is they turn the wheel. 善才辩巧，转无退。Okay, so when they speak to turn the wheel here is a Buddhist jargon. Hey, you paying attention? Don't ask me. What does it mean turning the wheel? Hey, Catholic. As long as you're here, I need your attention. Turn the wheel. No, I'm kidding. It's okay. It's 1 second. Turn the wheel here, meaning that speak Dharma to help living beings, to give them wisdom. Okay, that's called turning the wheel. Like I'm turning your wheel right now. Okay? Aren't you happy? We turn your wheel. I'm turning your wheel. Okay, so they turn the irreversible wheel is that this wheel here. Okay, just put it down, you miss it already. No concentration. Irreversible wheel here is that this Dharma here that they would never regress. Okay, they teach you about non-regression. Whatever they teach you, when you practice it, you will not regress. Okay, and how do they do that? How do they turn the wheel? With eloquence and with skill in means, meaning that they excel at speaking the Dharma and they never hesitate to use any props. Videos, sound, clips, props, children, animals, whatever, any skill in means to teach. No, you can go back to your thing. I'm done. All right? And the irreversible here that will not fall to evil paths, the two vehicles. Yeah, that too. Few more minutes. Let's bravely proceed. 272. They physically embody the great ocean of meritorious virtues of all the thus come ones.
一切如来功德大海，咸入其身。
So, what this is saying in commentary slide 273 is that they got there, they got to where they are, they got to that level because the Buddhas, their bosses, made sure to guide them to develop all the merit and virtues of Buddhas. So they have been practicing directly under the Buddhas. The Buddhas have been guiding them. At that level, at their levels, Buddhas must teach them. Only Buddhas can teach them. Yes, sir.
So I just have a question. I think you were talking a little bit about the hierarchy between the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So that means that the Buddhas rule the universe?
The Buddhas are the universe. Buddhas are everything. It's not belief, it's a fact. Buddha is everything. And the fact is the fact. That fact has been verified by people like Universal Worthy, by Manjushri, by all the bodhisattvas. We don't know, we have no clues, but they're verified by the people who are close to being Buddhas and say, I can see now 90% of you. I can see 80% of you. I can see 60% of you. Does it make sense? In Buddhism, we insist on certification, on verification. We don't simply say, I believe. Okay? We don't say, I believe. We simply say, my teacher or that particular bodhisattva said so. It's a certification. It's ascertainment. It's not simply my personal belief. My personal belief doesn't matter. Irrelevant. What I believed when I first started was I believe Master YongHua. Okay? And the more I practice, the more I realize, his statement, his certification are very, very accurate, more and more accurate. So I myself began to verify his statements. So that's what happened in Buddhism. We have levels of certifications as we practice. You yourself certify that what we teach you is correct. Once you reach a certain level, you say, that's what he said, I'm gonna experience, and you're gonna experience it. All right? Yes, 9.
Thank you, Master. People who encounter with Buddha in this lifetime, do they build a blessing from previous lives, or if not, how do Buddha choose to help people from all the world?
What is called, the Buddhists have conditions with us, affinities with us. Affinities meaning that the Buddhas owe us. In the past, we made offerings to the Buddhas, and they remember forever. So that because of that so-called affinity, meaning they owe us, that's why they always look for ways to connect back to us, to save us, to repay that debt. Buddhas never skip town on the debts, so they always come back and try to repay us. So that's why when you see Buddhas and you have a chance to make offerings to Buddhas, wow, oh my God, those are invaluable resources you're going to have the rest of eternity. And we don't realize it. It's so silly of me, I admit to you, when we had the relics we have, and relics are the body, one of the 10 bodies of the Buddha. We have the relics. And for us to be able to allow ourselves to bow the relics right here behind me, okay, it's these incredible blessings. The Buddha now owes us. We have affinities with the Buddha. Doesn't matter who you are. You Catholic, you non-Catholic, you whatever, you Putin or non-Putin, doesn't matter. The Buddha owes us. You bow to the Buddha now owes us. What a deal, huh? And here this guy refuses to bow to Buddha. It just tells you the kind of structure he has. Yes, Ed.
Yes, Master. I just lost track of who is they in all these slides. They is the bodhisattvas in the assembly?
The
Only the
Mahasattva
Mahasattvas.
kings. Yeah, universal Wuti and their cohorts. Yeah, they describe this is the state of these first group of world leaders, the so-called Mahasattvas. And so they list them out, and then they say, this is what they do. This is who they are. This is how they're like. And that's the description. Okay? Thank you, everyone. We stop here today. Thank you. Hey, how come Conch, I know some people in Conch can sit in full lotus, and they're not. Oh my God, look at that. Huh? Look at her. Look at the way that lady in the middle sits in half lotus. She can easily get into full lotus. Yes? Can you get in full lotus? Yeah. Show me. See, look at that. How? Look at that. Look at that. Try to train yourself to sit in full lotus. Much you create so many more blessings by merely sitting like that. A lot more than half lotus. Okay? Okay, thank you. Let's do reverse transference.